Hi, I'm Alma. My animal was the Kerry slug. Its scientific name is Geomaculus maculosus, and I chose the Kerry slug because I have kind of a bad experience with slugs. The first time I saw a slug was in Yosemite, and it was like half dead in a porta potty, and I kind of wanted to fix that relationship with slugs because they're actually really cool. And so I chose the Kerry slug, and my topic question was how the Kerry slug's sensory tentacles help maintain homeostasis day to day. And I chose like focusing on the sensory tentacles because they're actually like a really small part of the Kerry slug, but they're one of the biggest reasons that the Kerry slug is able to survive day to day. The first part of research that I did was about the Kerry slug's actual like anatomy, and here I just have a drawing of the basic slug anatomy, and the circle is focused around what I focused on, which was the sensory tentacles. So this Kerry slug has two different divisions of their entire sensory tentacle function. There's the upper tentacles or the optic tentacles. Upper tentacles have like eyes on the tip, and they're also retractable. If you touch a Kerry slug's upper tentacle, I don't know if you've ever seen a slug or a snail, if you touch their tentacles, they like retract really fast, and that's the optic tentacles. So another cool thing about optic and upper tentacles is that those are sometimes used as a defense mechanism. So if there's a predator or something that just like comes up really fast to a Kerry slug, because of that really fast movement, it's designed to possibly scare predators away because it's so abrupt and the predator isn't anticipating it. And then there's the lower tentacles, which are just the sensory tentacles, which are located near the radula. And the radula is like how the Kerry slug shreds up its food, basically the mouth. And then some other basic anatomy is the Kerry slug has a breathing pore. They're about 7 to 8 centimeters long. They have a mantle, which is like this like humpback. They have a keel, which is basically the human equivalent of a spine, super flexible. Tail, tubercles, which are little bumps above their ridge, and the ridge is just like what's under the entire body. Next, I also have a distribution graph or distribution map for the Kerry slug. They're found mainly in Ireland and northwestern Spain and Portugal. The reason they're found mainly in Ireland is because Ireland, in coastal areas, it's super cool and humid, and there's a lot of shade. And Kerry slugs can't really survive in places that aren't like covered from the sun because they're super sensitive to heat. And this is, the darker the color, the more concentrated they are. What I noticed about the Kerry slug concentration was that they're mainly around the coast. They're also sometimes around main rivers, and this map didn't actually include the rivers, but I looked up different main rivers in this part of Ireland, and I noticed that a lot of Kerry slugs were just around these main waterways. So this is Blackwater, Lee River, Barrow, Stanley River, and Clare and Lough River. I'm not familiar with those rivers, they're all in Ireland. But also something that was a common attribute of where Kerry slugs are is they have like a lot of lichen, there's just a lot of water, it's cold and humid, and this connects to the sensory tentacles because without sensory tentacles, Kerry slugs wouldn't really know where they are and they wouldn't know where to go. So it's very important that they know where they are, where to go, so that they can stay out of the sun and safe. And then this is just a graph that shows Kerry slugs move, and this is only possible because they need to know where they're going, which again connects to the sensory tentacles. Kerry slugs use their sensory tentacles to change location based on climate, season, and overall monthly and yearly environmental circumstances. They have to move to stay alive, which is all possible through their sensory tentacles. This is just like a graph that shows the seasonal change in where Kerry slugs are. This is woodland and blanket bog, two of their most common habitats. And as you can see, it just changes, and it has to because Kerry slugs can't stay alive without that different movement. And then this is my graphic conclusion. This is just a picture of Kerry slug. My graphic conclusion is focused on like the basic function of the upper and lower tentacles and then the deeper importance of that. So I'll just go over that really fast. My graphic conclusion, for the first thing of the upper tentacles, they visually identify food, other movements, and even sensing levels and intensity of sunlight, which is just a basic thing that Kerry slugs do. But also, more importantly, they are extremely important for spotting predators such as birds, snakes, or larger insects. Upper tentacles, optic tentacles, there's the eyes. And then lower tentacles, The basic function of the lower tentacle is just to detect food and identify if it is safe or not, but the deeper importance is that it's necessary for sensing location, which again, location, very important for staying alive for a Kerry slug. And also just proximity to different environments. And then Kerry slugs can retract and extend their upper tentacles, which I talked about, and the Kerry slug's lower tentacles recognize obstructions to mobility, alert the slug when it is injured, and aid in the determination of safety or danger. And then this is just a picture of Kerry slug with their upper and lower tentacles. Questions?
I got a question.
Yes.
Is there anything unique about the Kerry slug and its tentacles or like anatomy from other slugs?
Yeah, so the Kerry slug's tentacles, actually, there's one thing I didn't mention about, because I would have focused on this, it's one of the cool things about the Kerry slug. Their tentacles, so they need their tentacles to know when they're in danger. And the one thing that the Kerry slug does that a lot of other slugs don't do is that when they are in danger, they roll up into this little ball. And it's a very weird, distinct attribute of the Kerry slugs, along with like its dots and spots and stuff. That's like one of the things that sets them apart. And they wouldn't really know if they were in danger if they weren't able to sense what's around them. Yeah.
So I have a question. So it seemed like the climates like summer, winter, and all those things were like affecting the Kerry slug a lot. How would it does it preemptively migrate, like it can sense summer's about to come? Or
I did not do research on that. I would assume so, because I think that they definitely are a migratory species. Like they have to move places because they need to stay away from the sun. I don't know if they know that it's January or like they know that February is coming or March is coming. I would assume there's some level of like anticipation around that. I'm not sure. It's a good question. Also, they have like 1 to 1.5 year lifespans, so you kind of need like that repetition, which they don't really have. I don't know. Good question. Thank you.